here with Saturday Extravaganza, and we are creating the second part of our interactive circle mini album. So I'm just tracing one of the circles on a piece of double-sided cardstock, and as you can see, you can hardly see, but there is the pencil marks there, and what I'm going to do is just cut around the pencil marks that I just made. Problem is I can't even see it, so I'm just gonna go over it again. Made it too weak. Okay, there was a part of the circle missing and these fell out. Let's put them back in. Okay, so what we're gonna do is do this page up here. And what I'm going to do is create sort of a window. We're going to do a window. So we have our circle here. These are the sides of the circle. And what I'm going to do is just freehand add little tabs on the side with the pencil. They don't have to be really straight, but they're going to be the sort of access for our windows to open and close. So you can see how I drew them, and we're going to cut around the circle including the tabs that I just made. And by the way, tracing the paper was just a shortcut. You can measure again the size of the circle like we did with the pages at the beginning at part 1, but that seemed just a faster way to have the same size of a circle. Okay, so now we have a circle with two little ears or tabs, and what we're going to do is just bring a ruler and a bone folder. First, let's see that the size is okay, and we have to trim the bottom because of the binded all rings, and I'm just gonna make it a bit smaller because it's a bit too big. So I'm just gonna make the circle a bit smaller by just trimming the edges in. Okay, now I want it to be straight. You can do that by simply drawing a fresh circle, a smaller circle. I just did it, I just eyeball it, but if you need to remeasure, then just remeasure a smaller circle. So I trimmed the bottom in a straight line so it will fit with the binded all rings, and this is how it should go, the circle. And being a perfectionist that I am, I want all the margins to be even. Okay, so now we're going to fold our ears or our tabs by simply creating a fold line where the circle and the tab meet. And then we're going to fold it like this and do the same on the other side. And now we have the hinges, so to speak, for our windows. It's going to go in there like this, and now we're going to cut in the middle, in the center, and create two windows, one for opening to the right and one's opening to the left, like this. So one is going to go on this side as one is going to go on the other side, like this. And then all we need to do is put some glue on the tab and insert it. This one is not folding properly, so I'm just creating a little gusset like we always do. I forgot to do that. That means that you're going to add another fold line about 1/16 of an inch next to the one that you created before. So you'll have, excuse me, so you'll have a gusset. That means that if you add stuff on the inside of the window, it won't be bulky. It will give you enough space to add things. So attach the windows. And now I'm just going to trace another circle in just the bottom, because what I want to do is create a pocket. So the bottom should be round and the top should be straight. It's going to be half a circle that's going to go in there, and it's going to be a pocket that is going to go under the window. So again, I'm just eyeballing it, trimming all the excess. Don't forget to trim the bottom in a straight line so it will go with the binded all rings, because basically we don't have a perfect circle. We have a circle with a straight bottom. Okay, so once you're happy with this pocket, just gonna cut it. It's too wide, so I'm just gonna cut the edges, make it a little bit smaller. And then I have my pocket here. And again, you remember when we attach a pocket, we need to put glue just on the sides, right? Not on the top. So what I'm going to do here is add the same color of cardstock that the page is in as a top addition to my page, because I want to hide the tabs. You can actually leave them if they don't bother you, but they kind of bother me, so I just want to hide them. So I'm using the same color, and basically same color as the page, and then I'm hiding them by adding another half a circle on top, so it's going to go on the tabs of the windows like this. Okay, I'm just trimming it, make sure that I like and that it's accurate and that the window can close properly, because if it's going to be too big, then the window won't be able to close. So just glue that down. You can skip this part if you don't want to. It's just me. Bothers me, but you know, if it doesn't bother you, then you can just skip this part and just create the pocket. Okay, so there's our pocket. Just trimming slightly more. Okay, so just put glue on the edges. I'm using foam tape, so we'll have a little bit of volume, namely and have enough space to put things in the pocket. Too many distractions. I'm just moving that. Okay, so just little pieces of foam tape. I usually like to work with this type of foam tape that I can cut whatever size of piece that I want. I don't use the dots or the ready-made squares that they have. This way I can decide what kind of size I want. So I have these tags here, which I'm just going to add a little color to them. This is a great way to use whatever leftovers you have from things that you cut before, and you have little squares or little stripes, so you can just use them as little embellishments for the tags, or as little cards to put inside the pockets that you create in an interactive mini album. I'm going to use this to create an embellishment on the other tag. These diamond shapes are really pretty. I like them. And I always cut a bigger piece, and then once it's attached I trim the excess instead of starting to measure. I know it's maybe wasting a little bit of the paper, but still easier for me. So I'm just going to cut the word telegraph and add it on the front of the pocket, and just to make it a little bit more interesting. Okay, so on the front of the window I'm just gonna create that little it's not a closure because we don't need a closure. It's sort of a closure embellishment kind of a thing. Gonna cut this round shape and then layer it on another circle, and we're going to create a really cool circle on the circle like this. So I have 3 different size circles and I'm layering them one on top of the other like this, and the little guy is going to go up there with some foam tape. And what I'm going to do is just attach the circle only on the left side of the window. So it's going to go on top, but it's not going to be attached to both sides, so we can still open the window like this. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And for our next page, that was that page we're finished with, and for this page I have this beautiful word here. It's very long, so I'm just going to fold it in an accordion fold. I want to use the whole word in the mini album, but it's small, so I'm just going to mark. It's a 12 by something. I think it's 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to create a fold line every 4 inches. And then I have it exactly folded. It's going to go in here, and then it's going to open to the right side like this. But we're going to create a little bit of mechanism to secure it by cutting 3 squares. Basically the idea is to cut a strip of paper and then fold it in a way that the base is at the same width as the strip of paper that you want to secure. If you don't have the images like I have that already do the work for you, you just measure the width of the folded paper strip, and then you fold the other strip around it. Just make sure it's long enough to overlap when you close it like this. Doesn't have to completely overlap, but at least partially overlap. So this one's going to go in here, and the other strip is going to go on top of it, securing it so it won't open. So just put your glue on the bottom of the middle part, the base, and when you open this one, secure the other folded strip. So this one will close on top of the folded strip. So I'm just going to add a quote, again from one of the papers. They have really nice quotes on the papers too. This is what I like about these papers, is that they have everything that you need to use. It's like you don't need to add any embellishments, quotes, or whatever. You can just cut out everything from the papers already. So of course you can use the papers for a full layout, but if you're using a mini, it solves a lot of problems. You just have all the materials that you need right there on the large 12 by 12 papers. Okay, so this is our other page finished, and what I'm going to do now is just cut a strip of paper It's a 12 by 3, 12 inches by 3 inches strip of paper, and fold it to create an opening flap. Just gonna make sure that I don't fold it larger than the space that I have on the page. So this one's gonna go like that, and then the rest of that like this, and I'm going to fold this to the outside and create a pocket on the front. So this way I'm making use of all the 12 inches that I have. Just put 2 pieces of foam tape, one on each side, or 2 on each side because they're small. Then you'll have a pocket on the front to put stuff in, and then you'll have your opening flap. So there's the pocket. This one, just straightening it out because it was okay. So there's the pocket. And now I'm gonna create some, just put something in there, a little strip. This is like a film strip. You know, whenever you have a pocket and I put a tag in there or something, you can put a photo, of course, if you want. I'm going to fold this, and it's going to go in the pocket like this. And the flap is going to go on the page. But first I want to add some things on the inside too. First, I'm going to create a hidden pocket, which will be, it's hidden because the pocket is made from the same paper as the flap. So basically, because it's going to go in here like that, you're not going to see that there's a pocket. It's sort of a camouflage effect, right? So this is a hidden pocket. Of course, once we put things in there, it's going to be kind of obvious that something is holding them inside, but still you can't see it like this, right? So I'm just adding little folded tag in here, and another folded tag. When you have, again, leftover pieces of things that you cut, it's a great thing to put inside the pocket. So you put your glue on the bottom of your folded flap, and then just glue it to your page. I love all those moving things. And I just cut one of those old phonograph, I think they're called, just as an embellishment. It's an old record player, and I'm gonna cut out a telephone and add that too as an embellishment. Remember, I told you everything you need is on the papers, so there's another example of, if you need an embellishment, you just go look for a nice image on the paper and then you cut it out. So I'm just going to add this word here to embellish the inside of our flaps, and the little circle on top here. And now we have our flap opened, and I'm going to create another pocket by just adding glue to 2 sides of this square, and it's going to be a side pocket because you load whatever you want to put in there from the side and not from the, basically from the corner and not from the top. I'm going to show you in a second. Just fold this, it's going to go in there, Just thinking if just turn it over like this from the side, see? Okay, so now our flap is done. In our last page, I'm just going to create an opening flap from the top. Again, what I'm going to do is just fold a piece of paper and then trace, or not trace exactly, cut the circle the same size as I cut all the other pages. But what I'm going to do is have the upper part of the circle overlap the fold. So we'll have a straight fold line on the top of the circle like this. It's going to be like 2.5 inches. I'm going to measure and place it exactly in the right place. So I'll have actually 3 inches. 3 inches straight fold line on top of the circle. Once that's placed, I can just cut, and I'm going to show you in a minute what it looks like. So because we folded the paper before we cut it, we're going to have a flap. You can do that with any system, by the way, of of circle cutting if you don't have the one I'm using. Well, probably you don't have, because well, maybe you do, but it's not available anymore. It's discontinued, the colossal. See, so now I have, it's not straight, but this is a flap, and it can open like this. I just cut it, and now it can open. I've left about 1/2 inch on the bottom flap, and then glue it down on the top of my circle. So I have the flap here that opens up and down. Of course, you can add more stuff on that flap if you want. I'm just going to leave it like this. I didn't want to cover the word telephone on the page. And finally, I'm just going to add one tag. Then I'm going to add a little bit of embellishments on both sides. And I'm just going to add that tag with a piece of twine. And I have this chipboard piece, again from the collection. I'm just going to add them here and tie the twine to the rings and have that nice addition to my mini. Let's trim the excess of the twine. Then you have those little tags with the mini. So we basically finished our beautiful mini album. And let's go over it. We have the pocket with our 2 inserts, our little accordion insert, and then the little mini book inside the mini album. Love those things. And then the next page we have our phone dial. Here we created the first part of the mini album, the intricate flaps that open and close in all directions. And we have our bottom pocket here with our belt that holds all kinds of tags and opens itself like this. And then we have our window with the pocket inside with the tags. And the closure, the circle that created, and the accordion word, and our pocket flaps with the hidden pocket too, with all the inserts that we created and added, and our side pocket. Oops, there's a little bit of glue there. Just gonna cut that out. Okay, and this is our side pocket and our tags, and finally our upper flap. So this is our mini album. I hope you really liked it as much as I had. I love making these things. And I have a little bit of a surprise for you. This mini book has a box, a beautiful round box, and this box has a shape of a vintage phone, a pole phone, the ones that were in the beginning of the century. And just going to show you how it looks from the side. It closes. It has the handle and everything. And I created this phone from scratch. This is how it looks. Isn't that pretty? So this phone I created from scratch. I built the little, all the embellishments here that are added, the 3D embellishments, and the handle and the mouthpiece that you talk into. And basically this, of course, can take that out and talk on the phone, right, to everybody that you need to call. So this box, this very unique and beautiful phone, is part of the first video tutorial in the Saturday Extravaganza VIP room exclusive member only club. So if you want to learn how to create that beautiful box and the phone and everything, you can join the VIP club and register. There is a link at the end of the video. You can register to the VIP club and find out how to create this amazing box and many other beautiful tutorials that are going to follow. So I just want to let you know, make sure that you see what kind of great video tutorials we're going to have in the VIP room. So I'm going to wait for you there, and I hope you liked it. Please make sure to visit my website to subscribe, or subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.